my mom was like, "Are you homosexual? Son, are you homosexual?" Like so clinical. And I was like, "Yes." But my dad heard this whole conversation and then he just said, "Stop there." And he said, "I'm disappointed in you. Get out of my sight." Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
Welcome to Clean the Toilet podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my name is Ming. I'm your host for this evening.
And nice to meet you, Ming. Ming. And I'm Opera Tang. Thanks for having me on board.
Right.
Yes.
So how was it like for you, coming out of the closet?
Coming out of the closet, for me, it was quite traumatic because it was more of a forcing out rather than a coming out because my parents kind of asked me, in my family, coming out to my family, confronted me right after Pink Dot. They told me not to go because it was against maybe their beliefs or whatever, which I do not subscribe to now anymore. But they just asked me outside, like, the toilet area where I just came out of the shower, just towels around my waist, like just very vulnerable and naked. And my mom asked me, "Did you go to Pink Dot yesterday?" And my dad was just in the dining area and he could hear the whole conversation. And I was like, "Why would you ask me this when dad is just in, like, he can just hear our whole conversation, right?" And he was like, my mom was like, "Are you homosexual? Son, are you homosexual?" Like so clinical. And I was like, "Yes. You don't have to be homosexual to go to Pink Dot. You can be an ally, right?" And but my dad heard this whole conversation. And when I walked out of the kitchen where the toilet was into the dining area where my dad was, and then he just said, "Stop there." And he was like, "What do you just say to your mother?" And my dad is this like very macho guy. He goes to the gym like 6 to 7 times a week, dragon boats on weekends. And he asked me like, Are you homosexual?" Then I was like, "Yes, I am." And he said, "I'm disappointed in you. Get out of my sight." And there and then I was like, rush of emotions. I was just crying. And I said, "I didn't do anything wrong. Why do you have to say this to me?" And I just ran to my room. Like maybe I just scurried. Like I didn't run. Not that dramatic. But yeah, I just felt very vulnerable and just stripped of all security, because coming out to your parents in that way, firstly, is very traumatic. And you're just, there's no safety net, I guess. At that point in time also, I was 18 and I was had to go to university. I had aspirations to go to university and stuff like that. And I couldn't afford it on my own. So I was just thinking about all those things. But the next day, my dad came up to me. I think after a talk with my mom, he came up to me and with the most broest hug, like, I don't know how you straight men do it. I'm assuming you're straight and you're a man. He just said like, "Son, I still love you. I want you to know that." And he gave me a hug just to assure me that he still loved me. And he did so in the most Asian way possible, I guess. Like he didn't kick me out of the house. He funded my tuition in college. And that shows, that's I think the ultimate way an Asian parent can show their love, right? By still having that child in their lives. Yeah. This in comparison to quite a lot of my drag queen friends that can't even do makeup at home or can't even present themselves femininely if they were assigned male at birth in their own home, which should be one of the safest places that they can be. Yeah. Yeah. I brought you through a whole roller coaster, I guess.
Well, I'm just very present to how, hey, thank you for sharing, such a very impactful, heavy, and it's what a big experience that you just went through. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And I'm just very present to the feelings, that's coming up from it.
I think at this point in time, it's been like more than 10 years since that experience. If you were to ask me that question, like maybe just freshly out of it, I would still feel quite sad. I speak about it more candidly now because I have processed through the emotions of whatever happened, right? But 10 years on, my dad asks, as chauvinistic, as homophobic, as transphobic as he was in the past, he's now asking my boyfriend to come on family trips with us.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's very beautiful. And it's also very touching, but I don't get too mushy about it. But yeah, my dad is not one to say things like, I love you. And he did. And he said it right after, the day after he said those big things to me. Yeah. Yeah. So I am very fortunate.
How is your relationship transforming in the family dynamics?
Now that I am in a place of financial stability, I hopefully, where's my camera? But yes, for the long term, and I can support myself and support my family. Like any Asian kid would also give allowance to your parents, to your grandparents, that kind of thing, right? So hopefully I can still continue to do this and also do that. And I'm in a place where I can set my own boundaries and do what I want to do because I'm not that much dependent on them anymore. So I'm more free in that sense. But also this freedom has given me another lens to, not another lens, like to interact with my parents in a more mature way rather than it's just child and parent, but more, I can talk about other things now, right? And I also understand their perspective. And maybe the things that they grew up with as well may have shaped the way they saw the LGBTQ community, for example. They grew up during the AIDS pandemic.
Right.
They maybe were fearful about other things as well. So those things may have overshadowed or like had tinted their lens of the community because maybe they don't have any gay friends, right? But then the firstborn child of such a macho father is, not firstborn child, firstborn son. Is such a flamboyant being. So yeah, I think there were a lot of emotions that he had to process and go through as well. So I don't blame him, but what I find most inspiring about this is his maybe not 180, maybe like 120 degree flip from where he was till now. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's really, really nice. Yeah.
Tell me about your mother.
My mom is a staunch Catholic woman, as is my dad, a staunch Catholic man.
Right.
She is, she is a domestic engineer. She had a banking job up till her fourth child. Right. Yeah, I have like 4 siblings, so there's 5 kids in my family. So like Catholic families have so many kids, right? Yeah, she has been maintaining the household. She has been always been there when I was a kid. We will cry together. I think I get my emotional side from my mom, and I connect with her a lot with about that. And she also taught me how to clean my toilet. So I think that's very apt. And I know how to clean my toilet. So yes, metaphorically and physically. Yeah.
Right. So just earlier on, we just met for the first time, and Opera was asking me, why clean your toilet podcast?
Yes. Did it mean anything crude? Yeah. Would you like to explain to the audience?
I think a lot of times, we all have very, very big dreams about how we want to change the world. But then, what we don't realize is all the big things, is done from all the smallest thing. How we do the little things in life is how we do everything in life. And a lot of times, a toilet is like in a house, is also a place where we let go. But yet, even though we're using it every day, we tend to marginalize that space itself as compared to a living room, as compared to your bedroom, as compared to the kitchen, as compared to many other spaces in the house. We consider the toilet as dirty, so we don't really want to identify ourselves in our relationship, in our daily relationship that we're cultivating with it.
Right.
And what's even more crude, in your words, is this, right? That's also a place where you let go of your debris, your stresses, your baggages. But yet it's also the same place where we marginalize it. So I think it kind of reflects the state of the society that we live in. That we live in a world whereby we are always choosing either or. And when something makes us feel polarized, the first thing we do is to cut it off. The first thing we do is to marginalize instead of inquiring deeper. How am I marginalizing this experience? Where in my life do I need a dose of the thing that I'm rejecting? Right. So very good for conflict resolution work.
Yes.
Right. On another aspect, the toilet is also a very safe space, isn't it?
Well, it's a very private space.
It is.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we sing. Sometimes we express ourselves.
Toilet, expanding definition to maybe our North American viewers, if there are any, our listeners, would be also encompassing the bathroom where the shower is as well, not just the seat.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So how can we build a relationship with a place and a space where we are spending almost every day of our life?
Yeah.
Every moment. Every time we feel an instinct, we attend to it right away. But then, at the same time, it's also the space where we put least conscious effort into. And of course, the toilet is also a space where we let go of our psychological baggages too.
Very poetic. Yeah. I think it's a cleansing ritual, right? Every part of the toilet, the shower, the bath, the sink, the throne itself has its purpose. And yeah, I don't think I'm a person to not face the shit, as they say. But yeah, I think it's something that is definitely needed to shine a spotlight on, I guess.
Right. We see the toilet as a place where we take our dump. It's dirty. The shit is dirty. Or rather, we think so, but we forget that the shit came from us. Right. So how can the shit really be dirty if you're not dirty?
From a biological standpoint, there are toxins and stuff, but yes, it did come from us. Yeah, and it was something that I think was useful, and now we term it as waste because we passed. But it was once something that was useful to us.
Right.
Yeah.
Another aspect we could look at is what makes us think that we are above the dust, the shit that we let go of.
From dust we will become. From dust we. Wait, what's the
dust to
phrase?
dust, ashes to ashes.
Yes. Yeah, sure. I'll leave it as that. Yeah.
Yeah, clean the toilet. A reminder for our audience who is watching this, to remember to take responsibility of your life. Treat it like a sacred sanctuary because you use it every day, and sometimes we take it for granted. Bring it back to the things that truly matters.
Yeah.
So that's why it's called clean the toilet.
Lovely. In the most poetic and metaphorical sense, yes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So you were sharing just now a little bit about your siblings. Thank you for sharing about your mom.
Yeah, my mom, my dad. Yeah.
How is your relationship with your siblings?
Well, I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers.
Right.
I'm actually quite... I actually hold quite an okay relationship with them. I'm not very close to any of them. I'm closer to my friends.
Right.
But I would say we don't have any animosity between us. It's just that I support my brothers maybe by buying McDonald's for their breakfast when they had to go out to school.
Right.
Yeah, we don't really share very many interests, I guess. Yeah, none of them want to do drag. But yeah, I think we're an okay family, I guess.
How did they relate with your identity when you came up?
Okay, I think my youngest brother is maybe the most extroverted out of the 5 of us. And then he is also maybe the most interested. Since he was in early secondary school, he's now JC, taking his A-levels this year, right? He has helped me along the way, to hold lighting fixtures so that I can get a shot. Back when I just still took pictures on my handphone, and also when my friends helped me with their cameras, right? Yeah, so he was there to assist. So he was a photographer's assistant. Then my sister as well, my younger sister, who also studied film yeah, so she also helped along as well. So I think, I don't downplay their contributions or anything, but yeah, I don't really think about my siblings that we're not best friends or whatever, but we help each other out. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So who is Opera becoming?
Who is Opera becoming in 2026?
Not just 2026,
Okay, in my 1 year to 5 year plan.
Come on.
Yeah.
Let's break that constraint.
I know. I'm just starting. Okay, Opera is very young. She's in the nascency of her drag career, and she is really, I would say, happy-go-lucky right now. She is very fortunate and privileged to even do this as a full-time thing, and I'm very open to opportunities and obviously setting boundaries along the way, but I'm now quite wide-eyed and I wouldn't say naive, but because I've been in the entertainment industry in the back end, the BTS before, behind the camera rather, not BTS. But yes, so yeah, I'm just open and very happy that people want to see mostly my my work as a drag queen, the art that I do, and also the relationships that I have that I form along the way, and the relationships that help build Opera Tang. So mainly, of course, it's my ama, my grandmother, who plays a very big role in my work, and also at the start of my career, she's made a lot of my costumes also.
Right. Tell me more.
So yeah. So she helped me like alter my clothes. I didn't know how to sew a bit at all. But now to this day, I have 2 sewing machines, like industrial professional sewing machines in my room, which is more of a work room rather than a bedroom now. And she taught me how to like embellish things, sew garments, darts, finish things properly, like buttons and fastenings and stuff like that. So everything I knew from drag to a certain point was all taught by my grandmother. Yeah. She's 94. She's been a seamstress for, I don't know, since she was 20 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a long time, a lot of years of experience that I can tap on. And I'm very fortunate that she also come to a lot of my drag shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps as you're saying this.
I see, yeah. And yeah, she's, I think, quite happy with her disciple, I guess. And the only disciple, I guess, that has learnt like the art of sewing and garment making from her in the family. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for sharing your dream figures.
Yes. I mean, but that was, okay, maybe, I didn't really answer your question right. So that was what I was, that has happened, I mean, within like maybe the past 5 years of me doing drag, but like maybe 2 years of me doing it professionally. And then what I want to see in future, maybe more advocacy stuff, more outreach to communities outside, and also overlapping with the LGBTQ community. So I'm working on that, projects like that right now. But yeah, and more visibility and giving a voice to a community that isn't so seen in the media so much. Yeah.
And tell me more about the challenges that comes up.
Challenges?
Yeah. When you try to advocate for something, especially when something is so new, it's like a fresh idea.
Right.
I think people, at first, they will be resisting change, transformation.
I think maybe I'm a bit blindsided or naive to this, but my approach to I don't know, diplomacy or to overcome these challenges is to actually just show the humanness, the humanity behind it.
Right.
Because I'm not like, I'm like you, right? I'm just trying to live my life, trying to earn my keep, trying to sustain my relationships and stuff like that.
Right.
But maybe in a just more crazy, like fabulous way. And I'm very fortunate as an artist to also have like commercial projects and can help me fund other things I want to pursue that may not be so like sustainable financially, right? But I have to balance that. But besides that, I mean that's a financial challenge, right? But I think with the dawn of social media and like the rise and like the normalization of like people's stories through TikTok, through Instagram, like people are very much more exposed to queer people, right? And they may not have friends like that, or they may not be in a space where they can have friends who are as out as I am, right? So I think I'm just showing a slice of my life and my work that's heavily queer, and yeah, I think that's I don't be too like big idea about it, but it's just I'm just me showing me,
right?
Yeah.
So this is one aspect of your life.
It's one aspect of my life, but it's also a big aspect of my life. Yeah.
Got it. And how is money making so far for you since you just shared that you are doing this full time?
Well, I am very blessed to have opportunities come my way that have sustained me for a year. I think a year or two. Like last year was my first full-time year doing drag.
Right.
Just on social media and also performing and giving talks, like corporate stuff as well. But yeah, I'm just very happy that people see value in the story that I speak into the universe, and also the work that I've done, like to create maybe a small media space to queerify like Singaporeanness. You know? Yeah.
Could I push this conversation a little bit?
You can push me wherever.
One more move, just one more move, because I feel that if you can speak in a more tangible way.
Yes, okay.
I think you might encourage people to step into their own identity, their own role itself.
Right. More tangible. Am I speaking too high level?
How has money making been so far for the last 1 year?
Money making, it's like, what do you mean tangible? Like, the checks have been checking.
The checks have been checking.
The checks have been clearing. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
you don't have to give the exact value, but give them a sense on how you took this to a whole new level.
So prior to me doing drag, I was in tech sales, but not tech. I wasn't doing the engineering and stuff like that. But like I had to understand it and sell it, right? As SaaS, software as a service. But and then the tech bubble burst, right? And everyone like got retrenched after COVID and stuff like that. But anyways, I earned enough to save enough to pursue this career. And what I can say is that last year I earned quite a bit to maybe exceed or like be on par with what I earned as a tech salesperson. Yeah, so it's sustainable. They don't have to worry about me. Yeah. And also it's earning enough for me to spoil my grandmother and give allowance to my parents at Chinese New Year. Yes. Give them big angbas. Yeah. But also doing this, I think it's more than just the money, right? I feel like since I'm in a position and a platform where their eyeballs on me, I can use what I've built out for myself financially and also like in media, right? To also like, as I've said, like do projects like to reach out to the community, which I'm very excited to start on this year. Yeah.
Cool.
Cannot say too much yet, but yeah.
Cannot say too much yet.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for more.
Yes. Thank you.
Questions you would like to ask me? Let's make it a little bit more dynamic, rather than I interview you.
Yes. So tell me about yourself, Ming.
All right.
Why did you start this? You told me what Clean Your Toilet podcast is about, and it is a passion project of sorts, right? Yeah. Why did you start it, and what background are you? Are you from?
Well, I think, okay, so in short, we have currently filmed about 108 episodes within 6 months.
Right.
Right. And the purpose of the podcast, like I say, is to really put really real, authentic, well-lived and lived experiences and lived wisdom. I think in social media itself, a lot of times, people see a facade of somebody else's life and they assume that is it. But they don't realize the act behind it. So part of the podcast itself is really to bring the authentic voices, of personal journeys, personal growth, back into people's life. That, hey, actually, you know what? Nature is always changing. We are always changing. We are always transforming, and we are always becoming. Yeah. I think too often times we box ourselves saying that, hey, we can only be this, right? You go into a networking event. What's the first thing people ask you? What do you do? And then you introduce your name, and then you introduce your job title. Right.
We kind of didn't really do that at the start, right? We didn't really introduce ourselves.
No, we didn't.
Yes.
And that's
but this is you introducing yourself.
But that's how fluid life could possibly be. And maybe if we are so fluid, we don't have to take a position. Which, if you realize, if you take one position, there will always be another person taking on another position, and it creates an endless, restless amount of conflicts.
Right.
So maybe it's about following our process. Maybe it's about assessing that fluidity so that we can be all of the above and all at once. We are not just the role that we play. We're a son to a father. We are a husband to somebody. We play different roles in our life. But those roles is just one part of our life. It's not everything. So if you were to take all the roles out, who are you? So I am also an InnerWork teacher. I'm also a turnaround expert. I facilitate high figure outcomes, of transformation for organizations. I also work with individuals' personal life. So to Thomas, who is watching this, I don't make my money from selling causes membership, community
Who
membership.
Is Thomas?
Thomas, is one of our anchor speaker for this season who is watching this as we're talking. So
no, I know Thomas, but yes, who is Thomas? Yes, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I work on transforming people's life, and I produce interventions.
I think that's beautiful. And also,
but that's not only one of my business.
Yes.
I do many other things as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, please. What else do you do? Man of many hats.
Well, I think that we live in a world where the world encourages this narrative that you can only be good at one thing. And I think, growing up, I was kind of a black sheep and, I didn't really quite fit in. And I kind of understood that I didn't have to fit in because I wasn't really trying to fit in. I was okay with being my own skin and my identity. So I pursue my path of mastery. So I developed my different disciplines itself. I also run multiple businesses and many other things. Just as, you don't really talk about how much money you're making in the last 1 year. But it gives the audience a data, to be able to realize that, hey, it's possible to keep your passion project alive. Maybe just do the things that you love and money will naturally follow. I think too often times we're in a state of survivor, and I'm not trying to marginalize survivor because the traumas when we are in poverty consciousness and in survivor is real. And sometimes, when you're so caught up by survivor, you can't see anything else but thinking about what's the next meal to eat. And of course, if you go to social media, you will hear a lot of people telling you all the motivational stuff, positive things, right? Like, hey, just do this. Why can't you just do this? Do these 5 steps. You're going to make your life work.
Right.
I'm not going to say it's not easy or it's difficult because either way, both are true too.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's easy to somebody. It's difficult to somebody, especially when we don't have context of their circumstances. But really, I think this conversation also reflects of how we relate with people, how we see each other, how we see social media influences as well. We look at them as a particular character, but we don't realize that it's a fictional character. It's a part of our life. Yes, but not all the stories are real. And I think it's easy to jump to conclusion to say that, hey, you say one word and that one word that you say is the ultimate truth. I think there are layers to things to understand. And I feel that our generation hasn't evolved when it comes to discernment and awareness. We're still taking things like this, assuming that whatever we read online is real.
Okay.
But we don't have a good filtering system to know that, to ask the right questions, to have the right introspection, and to assess. We don't trust our experience. We don't believe in our experience. And oftentimes we marginalize because the whole world marginalizes it that way. And we eventually think that that's normal because everybody around us seems to be doing so. So maybe that's the truth. But is there more to truth that we have not explored?
You touch on a lot of big ideas there. But yeah, I think when you say our generation, do you mean like everyone on media today?
I'm talking about, I don't want to say everybody because, right.
No.
But
yes.
I'm talking about generally the people who are still alive. The last few, yeah.
No, but okay, maybe going backtracking a bit to categorizing influencing as a job, right? And it being, I think that is a shift now. It has been a shift already in social media where influencers or content creators are showing more of their authentic selves.
Right.
And that's what people want to see. I think, okay, maybe it's depends on your algorithm and how it's built around what you want to view, right? I think I have quite a good algorithm to see people that I want to see, like, and their content, that art they make, right? And the advocacy that they have. So I feel like the things that I see are quite real, and people do have maybe I'm in a bubble where that people do have media literacy to fact check stuff. And also in the comments, I would see people correcting like just the most minutest thing that's not like pedantic or anything, but it's just like giving their opinion on something that may not be the full truth in a video also. So there is, I think, inklings of people showing that they can discern, right? But yes, I would think coming out from that is like, yeah, don't always follow the flow. If you have a spark, you have a North Star in you, and there's you have the moral compass to it, just do it, and the money will come. But as a Singaporean also, you would want to, I don't know, as a Singaporean at heart, I would also want to have a safety net, right? To pursue maybe a degree that's safe or something, like build up a job to be financially stable, to pursue stuff as well. But yeah, everyone has their own paths. That's the path that I took, right? And I'm also very inspired that you also followed your own path and made like a whole career, a mastery out of it. But yes, what was the other thing I was going to talk about?
It will come.
Yes, it will come again. Yes, I know. But yes, I just want to talk about that. I feel like, and this whole, I think the narrative that an influencer is a mask, right? I think that mask is also fading, in the younger generations, right? Gen Z and Alpha. That they're really showing the most the stupidest, mundane things in their life. It's very real because it's very relatable and people want to see that. And that's, I think, the media interest is of the younger generation shifting towards that, right? It could be something that's super random and irrelevant as well, but it could be a meme, But yeah, I think the idea of an influencer just putting up a front and a mask isn't fully true today, and it's also shifting, it's evolving. Yeah. So even me putting on this costume, this whole garb, right? It is not an inauthentic side of myself. It is something that in my mind's eye I would love to show, like this fabulous showgirl, show person that is very confidently queer and just is, just as another person, like the queer next door, right? So I don't think what I'm doing is putting on a mask, even though I'm putting on so many layers of makeup. But it is showing a side of me where I feel it's artistic and authentic.
Right,
also.
It's so real, it's a dream figure. It's part of who you are.
Yes, definitely.
Right, and I think, that's what makes you very interesting as compared to many other things in the world.
Yeah. Yes. I think everyone has that interesting thing in them.
That's right. We're just putting a part of ourselves, out there as a way of expression.
Yeah. So that's why when I read the brief, the media brief for this, I was like, something about unmasking or behind the influencer's mask.
That.
Yeah. No, because I was like, yes, I agree that to some extent that is what you show to online, right? Definitely what I show online is curated in the sense that you don't see my daily life. It may be super mundane, like I don't show people about stuff like getting ready, brushing my teeth in the morning, wash. I don't know what I do, what I eat. I focus more on the costumes that I make, the relationships that help make my art possible, right? I explained already. My grandmother, my sister that do drag, the drag queens that have paved the way in the scene so that I can do the drag that I'm doing today. But yeah, so hopefully I can shine more light on that this year.
Right. Who are these people you would like to give a shout out,
My first drag sister that brought me out to the clubs, Ada Blackheart, Salome Black, Wonder Snatch, Victoria Wonder Snatch, Back at the Bus, Singapore's biggest drag queen. She is self-proclaimed because she's a big queen and she's also biggest, I don't know, yeah. Anyways, so many more queens.
Well, we'll do a shout out, onto them so that they get your messages.
On somewhere, I don't know, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so who have been your inspirations then in your field of work?
One, they are kind of my teachers.
Yes.
So I actually flew to learn from them and study directly under them. One of them is Gary Reese. He's still alive. He's one of my bodywork teacher. Arnold Mindell, the founder of process-oriented psychology, is one of them. Staff Fuente is one of my teachers whom I study with the indigenous tribes, is also one of them as well. I do keep a very tight, good relationship with each of them. I also do martial arts as well.
Oh, martial arts.
Martial arts, Aikido, is also a way to help us understand the physical side of this de-escalating conflict, right? So there's a psychological aspect, there's also a physical aspect itself. But then generally, what really inspired me, in this conversation that's really coming up is that whole openness to diversity. And I feel that there's really a lot more that we could really do as a community within Singapore itself to open our minds up. And I know that we are generally gravitating that way, but I feel that in comparative and relative to any other countries, like the America itself, in Europe, in other countries, more could be done. More could be done, when it comes to psychology, getting people to explore different aspects of themselves, in a safe way. And I feel that we keep emphasizing the safe space, it's really because the space isn't really that safe. And therefore, we want that to happen. Yep. We were just earlier chatting, when you first arrived, about Oregon, Portland.
Yeah.
How Portland itself is really one of the most open sex, state, that I've ever come across during my travel. So I travel quite widely.
Portland, Oregon,
open sex community.
As in SEX?
SEX. So when I say open sex, I'm talking about they're very open to their sexual identities itself.
Right. Okay.
So there's a big LGBT community down there. People are generally open. They talk about sex openly. They talk about relationships openly. They talk about queer, different aspects as well. I'm still updating my files.
Yes.
As I'm interacting with you,
You may be even more updated than I am, but...
What do you mean?
As in I'm just saying, since you've traveled so well, so far and abroad, right? But yeah, you may be even more exposed to this than I am.
But yet, at the same time, I also understand we can't really just copy and paste an idea, the freedom that they have in their culture down to our culture, because it's entirely two different fruits.
Yeah.
Right. Singapore was built with certain rigid regimentation itself, and it's evolving.
Yeah.
It's evolving. And I do envision, the whole big dreaming of diversity and more openness, where we can talk about these things that truly matters more openly without feeling whether, okay, is this appropriate? Is this inappropriate? Whether the person will accept it. But being us.
You spoke about this, one of your masters that you...
Teachers.
Yeah. Sorry, your teachers that you studied under.
Because, some people might label the word master as a master disciple,
Right, okay, I don't know too much about that. But yeah, one of your teachers who did work in the indigenous communities.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming it's in the US? Or,
in the US itself.
Does that have to do with conflict resolution as well? Because, Yeah, because I would assume there's a lot of history behind that.
Yes. I do a lot of that stuff. I study with the Native American. I work with the Hawaiians, as well. I also work with the Tibetans, different communities, Mongolians as well. So yeah, to really think.
Yeah, the autonomous regions and what they consider everything is in China. Yeah.
Right. So, they have different way of living, isn't it? Without being bounded and binded by the structures, the rules, the constraints that we kind of live in today. They have their own new way of living, ways of assessing different states of consciousness. Knowing where to find the food, connecting, themselves with the land itself. Of course, there's also political challenges as well.
Right.
So all these things, sometimes it's really challenging because, there's a lot of marginalization happening. It's kind of a game of ranks and power in the world that we live in. And we live in a world where people believe that they're either right or wrong, but never both could be right, without the possibility that both could be right and both could be wrong. So that's what we do, in conflict resolution. We are facilitators. We facilitate deep democracy, getting people to talk, to process. We can't really lock ourselves in one role thinking that we can understand the other person. We have to be so fluid. It's like a body process or a body symptom process. We have to take on the different role, different aspects, so that we really understand. And I think that a lot of times we perceive conflicts as negative, but conflicts is a way for us to achieve a higher level of harmony. Without conflicts, how can we find higher harmony and zen?
That's really cheap.
Right.
But yes, yeah.
And what is really conflicts and wars at the end of the day? They're just consensus reality in the dreaming.
That's a lot to take in. Consensus reality
in the dreaming. We dream about wars and conflicts, so we project it outwards. But really, the conflict lies within ourselves. But yet to say that it only lies within ourselves is also to deny the fact that it's happening outside. Look at the wars that's happening in the world. I mean, it's really a sticky topic. People are having so much disagreement, just by watching the Palestine, Israel war, Ukraine, Russia. And I get that. I also understand both sides. But yet at the same time, there's just so much to process. And I want to encourage everybody, to really be more connected with our own feelings. And even though we know that feelings are fleeting,
right,
it's always good to process it because it came from you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I recognize that also everyone has their own feelings that they work through and also their lived experiences. I would also think that sometimes there may be oppressors that definitely there is a clear divide between someone being a victim and someone being the perpetrator of whatever crime, right? So, for example, the Palestinian genocide and the ongoing tragedy that's going on there. But I won't speak too much on that. But but yes, not everyone is maybe privileged enough to be in a space where they can think about conflict de-escalation when they are the ones being victims in that sense.
That's right.
Yeah, but yes, in every other sense, I love that. I think it opened a door for me. I think in my mind.
Tell me about it.
Yes, about conflict resolution and you this alignment of your physicality in which you do jujitsu, you're learning about conflict resolution.
I don't do jujitsu. I do a little bit of aikido.
Oh my days! I literally just mixed that up. Might as well just say judo and taekwondo and put it all in tai chi. And I'm so sorry.
Those are more forceful.
Aikido. Yes. Thank you for calling me out. Yeah, Aikido and also what you study as well. And I think your outlook on life, I guess. Yeah, it's more about finding the commonality and the things that we want to, our truths that can be on the same playing field. Actually, I don't know, maybe I'm talking too high level about this, but yeah, I think there's always a way to mediate that, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So to bring back to the conversation, that we spoke about when we started off, that was what I saw in you, how you were able to work through the conflicts within yourself and to really step fully into your identity and to own that.
Yeah.
Own that aspect of you rather than trying to hide it, trying to marginalizing it, trying to worry whether somebody is going to receive it, how they're going to receive it. And I just saw that whole journey of unfolding, that you step into your own power as you're talking about your journey. So.
Right.
And I think that's why I felt called to share about the aspect of myself that I do a lot of conflict resolution work.
Yes. Oh, no wonder. I see. That's why it's a resonator with that also. But also sometimes I think I'm very fortunate to be born with the disposition to stand up for myself and to speak for myself. Because I don't know, maybe it's just the way I was. I'm also a bit autistic in the sense that I didn't really have very many friends. I was super socially awkward when I was a kid, and I think I'm quite high masking to get social cues and stuff. So, and where was I going with this? In a sense, to defend myself, right? For example, when I was very steeped in the Catholic tradition, I went to Sunday school and everything. I participated in Bible quizzes. I kind of topped it. I wanted to study theology when I was younger.
Right.
Yeah. So, but that was a lot of indoctrination, But I wanted to maybe something to in myself to prove that I could do something, even though I think I was at the back of my mind, this was always present, right? I didn't have the vocabulary or the vernacular to talk about it at that point in time. I was just suppressing it.
Right.
So, but then again, I knew that I was different, right? I liked boys, even though it was a sin to be homosexual, blah, blah, blah. But I learned how to defend myself with the ammunition that they were throwing at me. For example, the Bible, right? Bible verses and stuff like that. I would be able to quote them other verses that negate what they said. All those things. But that was all our trauma. It's a trauma response to people attacking me, right?
That's right.
But yeah. So all that to say, I could defend myself because I was just like that person to do so, right? But yeah. I also wouldn't discount that the people around me, like my friends and family, have also been very supportive throughout the years. Maybe after I was confident in myself, I'm like, okay, actually this is me. I don't have to suppress this anymore. I can live life fully. And I know that what I'm doing is not wrong. Legally, socially, I guess. Yeah. But maybe religiously, that's another thing altogether. But like, I am not hurting anyone else. I'm just trying to be myself and live my truth.
Right. You're not harming, hurting, or damaging anybody in the process of getting enough for yourself. How could we say that this is not a dignified life?
Yes, exactly.
When you are living to your truest calling, to your truest voice, the most authentic self that you can be. Of course, it's unfolding, isn't it?
Yes, I would say my truest calling. I don't know. I kind of cringe at that because like I feel like this is me aligning myself with the universe.
That's right.
Yeah. So like all the things I've done in the past, like Chinese dance. I did martial arts also wushu in school as a CCA.
Wow.
Musical theater, dancing, singing in choir. All these kind of things kind of like culminated in me doing this.
Right.
And being queer, of course. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I felt like that kind of aligned with who I was.
Wow.
And I birthed Opera Tang. Yeah. Yeah.
You call yourself Opera Tang for a reason.
Yes. Okay. So it's like, okay, doing drag isn't all that serious if you can call yourself whatever and do whatever, right? So, but the reason why I called myself opera was because I think I was just scrolling through Taobao one day and I was looking at all these, maybe it's my Taobao algorithm, right? Looking at all these like Chinese opera aesthetics, right? And I love it because like I was trained in classical Chinese dance, right? And a lot of the movement vocabulary was influenced by Chinese opera. So I knew the history behind that and I was, and I love the aesthetics. So like the pink blush and everything, I kind of like just put out my own twist on it. And also Tang, because Tang dynasty in China was the most illustrious golden age of Chinese history, one of the most. So that's why Opera and Tang, I guess. Yeah.
Right. So that's not your real name.
Well, it is as real as it gets. Yeah. Almost everyone knows me as Opera Tang now.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, what is a real name? My government name, it's not on my documents, but yeah, the name. Is Lady Gaga her real name? It is. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Just want to check, when was it when you started realizing that, hey, how old were you, when you realized you were different, you were queer?
How old was I?
You came from a generation when queer wasn't really quite a word.
That's celebrated, right?
Yeah.
Or even normalized. I would say I realized that I was different when others told me I was.
How old were you?
So, I don't know, when I was kindergarten age, I guess. Yeah, but when I'm going back to what I said about me realizing it when other people told me it was more of a scolding. So in my family, right, the earliest bullies are the people in your family, right? Maybe not your parents, but your cousins or whoever.
Right.
Is that when one of my grandfathers called me a caogua, which is which it's equivalent to like a effing F word, right? I mean, like the rock.
Sissy.
Yeah. Well, sissy.
No. Yeah. It was with the intent
sissy
of
was more
F-U.
in primary school, right? But like the FAGGOT word lah. But I mean, they don't say that in Singapore already. But maybe like in family you would call it. Yeah. The older generations wouldn't say that, right?
Right.
But yeah. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was bad because in the way, the tone the person said it to me.
Right.
Right. And I also have like Filipino family members that who today I'm very close with. But when we were younger, my ate would say, my tita would say like, don't play with opera because he's a bakla, which means he's gay. And because and the child, my cousin, told me that, and obviously I just cried on the spot, right? And that's another way to know that I was different, by the discrimination of other people, right? But I knew deep inside I was different already because I was more effeminate than the other boys. Yeah, and I didn't play when I go to Toys R Us or Kitty Palace, right? I would go to the Barbie section or the doll section. Not all gay people like that, but it's just my lived experience, right? But yes, I just was different then. And I didn't want to play with I played with Hot Wheels and stuff, Christmas gifts and stuff, but I didn't want to like play with trucks and action figures. I wanted to relish in the beauty that it was Barbie dolls and the clothes, and my grandmother could sew like dresses for them. I felt it was so beautiful and I felt so happy. But after a certain age, like that stopped because people in my class knew that I played Barbie dolls and they would taunt me about it. So I didn't really have a very good primary school upbringing. But yeah, it was only, my difference, I think, was only celebrated after secondary school onwards. Yeah.
Where you allow yourself to be.
Yeah, when I think I wouldn't say I allowed myself to be, in a sense, because at that age, like, would you have that concept of allowing yourself to be who you are? You would want to like fit in, have friends, not be the outcast, right? I mean, it's just speaking from my experience, and I tried to like befriend more guys, and then that wasn't really working out. I mean, like maybe in JC onwards, but yeah, I think the realizing and wanting to be myself was maybe from JC onwards. I came out to my closest friends, and then the traumatic outing of myself with my mom and my dad. And then from then on, I was like, I have nothing to lose already. My parents got my back. My best friends got my back.
Right.
So I can be myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just, when you're sharing it, your whole traumas, we call that traumas. Those are real.
Yes.
Right. It kind of shape the direction we take in our life. It become our defining points itself. And a lot of times, what we don't, I think a lot of majorities still don't really get is that, our sexuality has a lot of power, right? And when it gets marginalized or it doesn't get accepted, part of our power gets cut away. And what I'm saying is, there's so much power in owning our sexuality. And, in the old indigenous itself, they always have the male and the female within one person.
Yeah, the two-spirit.
That's right. So the masculine and the feminine coming together, and we call it the androgynous, right? And those the androgynous.
Oh, the androgynous?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Those who have the male and the female, very aligned to them. They usually carry a lot of power and medicine.
Yeah. They were the shamans, they were the elders, the leaders. Yeah. Yeah. But yes, that's also seen in communities closer to Southeast Asia in Singapore, like in the Bugis community. I think they have like 5 genders. Or I may be wrong. It may be another Indonesian ethnicity. But yeah, they have like I don't know the like chalabai, chalalai or something. I'm not mispronouncing it right. But yeah, they have like cis men, cis women, men who identify as feminine, women who identify more masculine, and like people who are transgender, like across all genders, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So, and those were the people who were the elders, and before like Abrahamic religions came into the region, right? So, yeah, it's seen all over the world, I guess.
How do you feel that as a community we can really embrace, and to begin to shift more of the consciousness of the way people relate and perceive their sexuality?
Well, sexuality is such a broad thing, right? Like sexual identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, all these things, right? People would like to bring up the diagram of the gender brand man. It's about what's in your head, what's in between your legs, what's around your body, as meaning like your gender identity, your biological sex, biological sex is so complicated also, right? It's not just like male and female. There's also intersex, and there's so many. Yeah. But anyways, your gender expression is what the clothes you wear, the jewelry you wear, how you conduct yourself, your mannerisms and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's so much to talk about that. But what was the question again? How people can tap into it?
How can we begin to open up more diversity and more conversation to begin to shift this whole consciousness that exists in the paradigm that we live in around sexuality?
I think education. I think like tangible steps is to not bar or to marginalize like people would say like sexual alternative sexualities or whatever.
Make it sound like there's something wrong with it.
Like to make it sound so clinical. Basically, it's part of nature. It's everyday life, right? I think over 1,000. I don't know how many. 1,500, 10,000. I don't know. And it's in the thousands. Like documented species that portray non like gender and binary like male female. Sorry, what am I saying? Let me do that again. I think there's like scientific evidence that are over like thousands of species, biological species, that are not just heterosexual. They are homosexual, bisexual, like characteristics and ways they socialize and also they mate, right? So it's not just humans, right? And if you want to call like this thing like unnatural, or when I say this thing, I mean like LGBTQ IA-ness or whatever, it is actually very much part of nature and it is very natural.
It is.
Yeah.
So education, is there a lot of education materials
in Singapore?
out there?
No. Like we can't even talk about being gay. Like I don't know, back when I was in school, like maybe not that long ago, but like if I were to come out to a teacher, that they would have to send me to a counselor or something. There's a protocol, that maybe SOP, right? And then the next thing is to inform my parents, that I may have these alternative thoughts, or...
And what's wrong with that?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what's wrong with that, right? But also it comes into question the safety of the child that is expressing these thoughts, right? Because the family may not be accepting and may even chase their child out their house, right? It may sound so dramatic, but I have had friends who couldn't go home or have to find like rent at a time they're supposed to be in the education system, like to just live. How can they study well when at home they can't even express themselves, they can't be true to themselves? Yeah. So, but I didn't out myself. I didn't come out. I mean, in school, only after I came into the workforce, then I was like fully like gay, non-binary, queer. Yeah.
Wow. Please breathe.
Yes.
But I want to say that you inspire me. In one aspect, I want this to be part of the film itself now.
Right.
Well, we should do a season around educating, people around different aspects of sexuality.
I would love to, but I would also say I'm not an expert. Right. But I can speak on my lived experiences and what I educated myself with. Right. So that would also be a response. The onus is on me to also know my shit, right?
Right. So yes. Case making a mental note that the amount of work that we need to do to, we could possibly do that, to really educate the masses. Right. Because you're right. There's not much information out there.
Yeah.
So how would I be able to know what's really out there when my option was really cut off without me knowing that it was cut off? So how can I be free?
Exactly.
Talk about what is true freedom. What does it mean to be really free? If I can't become the very person that I really am inside. Exactly. And I had to keep on hiding that aspect because I don't think the world is going to accept me. And I think that's the pain that I'm feeling, that's really happening to the world that we live in, to the people around us. Many of them know their stuff, but they can't really allow themselves to be, because dad is not going to approve of me, mom is not going to approve of it. I'm going to bring them so much pain. Why not let me just be depressed? Why not let me just end my life?
Right.
This real stuff that's happening in the world, and I think we need to really have so much conscious dialogues around it. So I want to thank you for being here, for begin to open something up,
Yes. Yeah, on that note, I want to make it, maybe end it on a positive thing, is that, I think parents definitely play a big role. They are the first persons to celebrate their kids in all their iniquities and their quirks, right? And their talents. But they're also the first persons to maybe be their child's first bully, to clip their wings even. But obviously, in the ideal world, I would say that all parents should be allies, right? In the sense to the disabled community, to the LGBTQ community, to whatever community that's marginalized. If you have a kid, you should try to create a path for that kid to thrive on their own terms, right? In Singapore, you can do that too, but queer parents can't, you know. But anyways, talking about straight parents now, or like I'm fortunate that my parents did not kick me out. They celebrate me now in their own way. Some may call it tolerating it, but I would say they're doing the best they can with what they have and with the circumstances that they're in. And I think, yes, that's a lot to educate, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything you would like to share with our audience, around inner work, personal transformation, and also about embracing their identities?
That's very deep.
Is there anything that's not deep?
Well, my thoughts now, actually. No, I'm kidding. The question is, what I would like to speak. Sorry, could you repeat the question?
What would you like to share to our audience, around inner work, personal transformation, and coming to become the identity and the dream figures that you've been dreaming of?
I would say becoming is an ongoing process. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And what you see here today in front of you, maybe it's not the final destination, but it's a milestone, I guess, a stepping stone. And always think about where you want to go, but think about where you are now and celebrating the steps you've already taken, but also be open to where you can go. Yeah.
Right. And how we do the smallest things is how we do everything in life. So let's not marginalize the little things that we put ourselves out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And we wish you well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Ming.
Thank you.